Welcome to the Wandiology podcast, where we learn and demystify astrology as a tool to gain a deeper understanding of our energetic signatures and our interactions with the world. Today, I'm joined by the lovely Kate, and I'll ask her to introduce herself.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Kate, and I'm so excited and honored to be in this space. I always from the first day I saw your video, I was like, I just want to sit on the same table with you. So I'm so happy that I'm here and I'm grateful.
Oh, thank you. Oh my God, that is so amazing. But that was a very modest introduction from her. She does a lot of things, which we'll get into. And if you didn't know, this is the Capricorn Archetype.
Yes.
So let's get into it.
Amazing. Sawa.
Okay, so Capricorn.
Yeah.
How I want to ask how you experience yourself as a Capricorn sun, first of all.
Yeah. Okay, as a Capricorn sun, I'd say I'm very grounded. I like to plan things. I am organized. I also like to foresee things the way they happen. So I do them like plan, put them down. I'm also I'm not strict.
Are you not?
Not strict, but I like, let's say, common sense. If something is supposed to be done in a particular way, let it just be done. Like, I don't like repeating myself.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, like, let me not have to say something 5 times.
Yeah.
Something like that. I would also say, I don't want to say it's a lot of masculine energy, but I feel like I like to oversee things being done. Not the teeny tiny details of things sometimes, but it's like, how would I say it? Not a manager per se, but yeah, let's say a manager.
Yeah, a bit controlling.
Like I see myself in that perspective more than I'd see myself in the secretary kind of.
Like as someone who receives instructions. You're someone who gives them. And that makes a lot of sense, because if we think about Capricorn, being a cardinal sign, first of all, so meaning like it begins the season of winter. And like winter conditions are harsh, and like you need a lot of preparation. Like you need to go outside and scrape the ice every single day. Like you need that kind of structure. And thinking about Capricorn in that way, I see why you will see yourself in like an overseer role, right? And then thinking about Capricorn is actually a feminine sign.
Exactly.
Yeah. So as much as they're very like strict, ni wale watu mko strict hivyo, but they're feminine sign, so they're also very nurturing. But the nurturing is, as you said, as we were talking earlier, and you said the nurturing is more of an obligation, I think comes from the sense of Capricorn being ruled by Saturn. Because Saturn is now a masculine planet, and it's very strict. It's like, okay, are we doing this? Have you not done this? This is how I'm punishing you. Like, it's no, we're not negotiating, nothing. It's like very, very harsh conditions, right? And so thinking about like that being the ruler of Capricorn, and Saturn being about karma and discipline and hard work, and what else? Saturn also rules over time, like the time it takes. So you find that even a lot of Capricorns like age very gracefully. They have very strong bones and teeth, right? So like if your Capricorn placements are seated well in that chart, then you'll find like all these things happening. You'll find yourself flourishing with age, because you're always like that strictness is always there, right? And do you feel like you experienced, like, you had to grow up early? Is there that feeling?
Yes. I feel like it was the well, I'm a firstborn, but still I feel like my parents did not put any early childhood responsibilities, but I felt like it was within me to do those things.
Absolutely.
It's like I was in a setting of like my mother would give me choice, like I have the freedom to choose. But now the thing about freedom is that when you're given freedom, you're actually it's like tempting you not to take the wrong choice. So like internally I just feel like, okay, I've been given freedom, but I am obligated to always do the right thing, to take care of others. If I'm at school, to make sure that I put in hard work, not because anyone is pushing me, but I feel it within to like it is needed. It is needed for me to be best, to be not to be right, but to be right in quotes. And I feel like I grew up from a young age. Always felt like I know a lot internally more than my peers. Even though I wouldn't actually voice it a lot.
Oh my God, that makes so much sense. And I feel like I relate a lot with you in terms of feeling like you had to, like you felt like you knew more, kind of like you were wiser, because like this Saturn also rules over like old age and like wisdom, like wisdom that comes with experience, kind of. And for example, I have Saturn in my first, and for me, I always felt like, there is this need to always be on your toes, like do better because you know better.
Exactly. That's the thing.
Because you know better. Exactly. You have to do better.
That's true.
And so it made, like, even now the friends I have are way older than me. Like, I'm 27. They're in their 30s. Like, I have this friend who I really like her a lot, and she's like 38, and I feel like every time I meet older, like more seasoned people, they're like, how do you know all these things at this age? Like, what is happening? But then I feel like that's the effect of Saturn. It kicks you into maturity very early. So you tend to just be always, to feel like isolated. There's this feeling of isolation, like you don't fit in.
Exactly.
And like things are not what your peers are doing, it's not really relating with you.
And I don't want to like associate myself with them, because
absolutely,
I'm beyond this.
Absolutely. So so with Capricorn Suns, I just feel like they're very, very hardworking people. Like, I've never met a Capricorn Sun who is not grinding. Like, these people know how to work hard. They know how to like kind of just ignore their feelings. Like, I'm feeling lazy. Oh no, we have to work.
We have to work
like
exactly.
that. And I feel like that's why they achieve so much, because Capricorn also is represented by the sea goat, or like the goat that defies gravity, literally climbing the mountain. And that's just that energy that I really respect, that energy, because I'm like, this shit is hard. It's difficult.
I think sometimes I'm even attracted to what people say is hard.
It's
like, okay, now I
let
want
me
to
do it.
It's like, this is self-driving.
Oh my God, I relate to that so much. Like, increase the difficulty level, because
I'm coming
exactly because for me, my thought process is, if I can achieve the most difficult feat, then the other things won't be it'll just be like you're flowing.
Exactly.
And oh my God, I feel that 100%. So we can move on to Capricorn Moon, which we have a new moon in Capricorn today. Actually,
I'm excited.
Oh my God, I'm excited for you, girl.
I am.
So the moon is actually in detriment in Capricorn. So because the moon is at home in Cancer, it means in the opposite sign it's in detriment, which means in traditional astrology it doesn't do so well. But for me, I really think that it just signifies like a lot of struggle within your emotional capacity. I had this friend who was a Capricorn moon who it's like every day was a struggle. And then because the moon rules over things like your mother, femininity, it rules over emotions, your daily habits. So she had, first of all, a very difficult relationship with her mom, which actually is a thing I've seen with a lot of Capricorn moons. They have very almost narcissistic mothers. And they really struggle because now a lot of times astrology shows you like when you're brought into the world, because that's what your birth chart is. When you're born, what is that initial feeling that you have with your mother, for example, the moon? And so if maybe like your mom was holding you a lot, if maybe like your mom didn't hold you during birth, like it will show kind of in the sign in which it is in. Because now I feel like for Capricorn moons, there's detachment, even if it's emotional. Like your mom can hold you, but she's detached. Probably maybe they were going through postpartum depression or something where they feel like they couldn't attach to their child for whatever reason. And I feel like that is a theme Capricorn moons go through that I really just empathize with, because I'm like, oh,
that's tough.
Because like your mom is your first point of contact, of attachment, of feeling secure. Literally your mom is your first point of security. So true. If you don't feel attached to her during your birth, like it'll show, and then maybe that behavior continues and you find that like a lot of people who have abusive relationships with their moms, I've seen, have this placement or they have like a strained relationship to their mothers, and in turn this shows like a strain with like their femininity or their female friends. How they see women in the world is also strained, because another thing I've seen is that these women really struggle to sustain female friendships. Right? Like it's always like a point of like that is changed, something like that. So I think that's a thing I've seen with Capricorn moons that I know of. But also another thing I've seen with Capricorn moons is that a lot of times usually very brilliant, especially in the material world. Like these are the people who start businesses and their businesses last and thrive because they're able to pour that energy into like the material. When it comes to things they don't have to really attach to, where they can be disciplined, where they can be a bit detached, then they thrive. Right? So that's my experience with Capricorn moons.
Interesting. I don't think I've met somebody with a Capricorn moon or somebody I actually know. So yeah, that's quite
interesting. So Capricorn Mercury Queen.
Yes.
Tell us now.
I think I've seen Capricorn. Is it Mercury in Capricorn or Capricorn in Mercury?
Mercury in Capricorn.
Mercury in Capricorn. Okay, I think I'm the kind of person who I want to learn, and I'll find myself researching. And sometimes I would, let's say, research about a subject in like 10 different avenues so that I can get like, okay, this person, this perspective and this perspective and this perspective. Like I want to understand, if it's this phone, I want to understand it in 10 different perspectives. But sometimes it's usually like I can't get enough. Like my mind can't get. It's like, Kate, there's still something you don't know. I still need you to go and look for more information. Or I don't know if it's a feeling of like I can still go higher. That ambitious part.
Yes.
Sorry.
It's okay.
So I feel like I still need to keep keep researching, keep finding more information. And even with the thinking, I I don't want to say the number of times I've woken up and I've thought about something. Now I'm making the mathematics in my in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I just want to keep looking for information. And now I feel like I need to know now, okay, Kate, whatever you've learned is good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how I feel the mark.
Wow.
Yeah, that
makes so much sense, because I feel like Capricorns have this energy of a never-ending search. Like, they're always in search of something. And now when you bring like Mercury in Capricorn, for me, it just gives someone who's always kind of like a very avid reader, like a seeker of knowledge.
Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah, like a highly, highly intellectual person. Can you put someone with this placement? Yeah, and they're very, very, very smart and intellectual. They know how to talk to people, and they also know how to achieve, like the process of achieving things.
That's right.
And like overcoming obstacles. They're really good at that. Yeah.
And also I remembered something. Sometimes in this in the seeking of knowledge, I felt like when I'm in conversations and something new was brought up, it always felt like I'm never surprised.
Yeah.
It's like I already knew that.
Yeah.
It's like that information.
You're telling me something I know.
Like I'm not surprised. And I've seen this actually in, let's say, just my whole life.
Yeah.
I'm really never surprised with a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like the way somebody would come, oh my God.
Because you anticipated. You thought about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was there.
I love that. So moving on to Venus in Capricorn.
Yeah.
What do you think? You're a Capricorn Venus.
I'm a Capricorn Venus.
So how, because Venus rules over like attraction, like things like love, hate, like attraction, repulsion, things like that, and finances. Yeah. So how do you find yourself like relating to those things in your personal life?
Okay, when you talk about repulsion and attraction, I feel like for me sometimes it's either this side or this. For me, there is no in between. Hakuna hapa katikati. It's here or we are here. And let me just say, I'll give an example, maybe just in my house, and I want to buy furniture.
Yeah.
Or I want to buy, let's say some cutlery. Yeah. Anything. And it will be, if I'm going to buy something, it will have to be the best quality.
Wow.
I better wait 3 months, 1 year to save up and get the furniture I want. But don't find me going and
getting something for the sake.
Mediocre. Sorry.
Oh, I feel that.
Things.
Yeah.
I feel like I can wait. I can be patient, save up, get the thing I want.
Yes.
And I love it. I relate to that quality. I want it to be classy. I'm not afraid to wait for that thing I want.
I love that.
Yeah. So it's either I'm starting small and okay, here is where we are starting. Me, I don't have like, we grow, then now we'll buy the next level. No, I can't. I'll just manifest for that when I can wait.
Yeah.
I'll wait for 2 years. I'll wait.
That is very Capricorn. Because all the Capricorns I've met, they are elite people. Yeah. Like, Capricorns don't go easy on like spending their money because they know they work for that. Yeah. They work for that money. So even like you'll find that like a Capricorn in the penthouse doing very luxury shit. But the thing is, they also know how to be frugal with their finances. That's what I've realized. They're not just spend aimlessly. It's the kind of like thing where status is important for them, but also like that frugality matters to them. Like, are we saving? Are we doing what's practical? Are we disciplined? Yeah. So what about your your partners, like your love life? Like, what do you like in someone else?
What do I like in someone else?
As a partner?
I like stability. I need to see you move things.
I love that so much.
because I feel like I have that quality. Like, I don't know if I have it, yes. And I also want to see it in somebody else. Move things, take me in a particular direction. I do not have to say, I feel like I don't have to, if you're my partner, my partner as a man, I don't want to tell you the things a man needs to be doing. I feel like you need to know those things. And then what else? Okay, finances for me is also like where I am right now. Come and double on that, triple on that.
Love it.
Like, if I can do this for myself, I'm not taking anything less.
Absolutely.
Why are you in my life?
Absolutely.
That's how I think it. Otherwise, I'll just be stressed.
Yeah.
And then I'll go back to my Capricorn nature and start doing things for you.
Ooh.
And I don't want to do that.
Preaching to the choir.
So that's one thing.
Yeah.
And I prefer older to me because
my
of the
God,
maturity.
That is so Capricorn.
Yeah. Like, I need to see the
What's
maturity.
the age
Sometimes
gap?
it's not even the age. It's how is your thinking? How you think? How you think? I must say, up until now, I've not been making the best choices with partners. But moving on.
We're standing on business.
Standing on
like
business.
You can't be a Capricorn and you're not standing on business. Come on.
Exactly.
You guys are the business.
We are the business.
Please. So
yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I love that. I love that. That was so, like, I could not explain to you Capricorn energy better than that.
Yeah.
So So Mars in Capricorn. Which you are again. So this is so easy for me today. I don't have to say anything.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, you still want... Okay. Mars in Capricorn. Mars is the planet of aggression, right?
Period. Tell them.
Sexuality, go-getter energy, things like that.
Okay. So some men are Capricorn. I don't have to do the work. Like, fire signs and air signs, watch this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And adding to the go-getter aggressive energy, being in Capricorn, I feel like Capricorn brings in strategy to the need of rushing. So for me, I will not rush. It's like, I need strategy. I need to plan.
Oh.
Something like that. I'll still go for it, but
take your time.
Take your time. It's like, I'm seeing the end goal. Like, I can see the vision, like an eagle's eye.
Yeah.
I can see far. I can see the end result 3 years from now. So how can I plan this? Yeah, it's like that. Again, I'm not afraid of patience, of like waiting. As long as I'm sure of the end goal. I can maneuver inside the challenges and all that.
Oof.
But I have the end goal. I know what I want. Yeah, so there's that. And what else? I'm thinking. Oh, and being a cardinal sign, I felt like I can initiate a lot of things. I'm able to give advice sometimes where others are not able to see something in a particular perspective. And also agreeing that sometimes that initiating energy, sometimes I'm not able to finish. Even with this strategy, sometimes I'm not able to finish.
Because of that cardinal quality.
Yes, I have the energy to start.
Absolutely. So it's the see-through, seeing through that thing.
Yes, it's there.
Yeah. So you'd probably partner very well with someone with like a mutable Mars or a fixed Mars.
I keep saying that to myself.
Yeah.
I just need a mutable placement somewhere to come and help me finish.
Oh my God, because you have like 7 Capricorn placements.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's go. And then it's like, okay. I feel that so much because I also have a ton. I have like also 8 cardinal placements, but they're different. It's like Aries, Libra, Cancer, Capricorn. And like my Mars is in Cancer. So for me, it's like, even when you say like you can see the 3 years from now, I really can't.
Yeah.
For me, I go with emotion.
Yeah.
Now that's what I can trust. Like if my intuition right now is telling me do something, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And it's almost always going to be the right decision because it's like a grounding sense of moving more than it doesn't even usually feel strategic. It's more emotional.
Yeah.
So that can also go on the what if now your emotions are biased. You know, what if you're not being truthful with yourself? And that's where sometimes you need this outside perspective to come and gather you.
Exactly.
But yeah, that makes a lot of sense because Mars is exalted in Capricorn. So like when you see those goats climbing up the mountain, please, mjue.
Tafadhali. I had a question, sorry. So I've just said, like, I see the end goal. I can plan and see what's the outcome 3 years. And I see the vision.
Yeah.
Let's say I'm a visionary.
Yes.
But sometimes bringing the small things, like actually that need to start to kick it off.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a challenge there. Even though, again, going back to that foreseeing, I am able to foresee.
Yeah.
But I'm not able to do this
The nitty-gritty.
The nitty-gritties because inwardly I feel like those are mundane things.
Oh.
Like, those are not things I'm supposed kushughulika nazo. But then it's a challenge when I'm the one who's like, I'm the one who's supposed to be directing my life. If I can't do the small things, even the big things,
they're not gonna be done.
So I feel like I struggle with this.
I feel, oh my God, I get that. I get that. I feel like with the mundane things, because Saturn also rules over the mundane. So that can be helpful. And I think it's like what will help is a shift in perspective and also practice.
Yeah.
Now, you see, with the mundane, you need to practice being in the moment. So, for example, like if we're doing something like washing the dishes, you have to romanticize the shit out of that. Like, isikwe to, kuna vyombo za kuosha. No, it's like, I'm washing this dish. What does this dish look like? That's how I wash dishes. Like, what is the color? Oh my God, this, like, I'm able to see the beauty in very, very simple things. And I think for me, that's the mindset that has helped, like, stay in the mundane and be able to build with the boring things. And then finally, when you start now falling in love with, like, the boredom of doing things. And that's why you were saying, like, for example, Noni, shout out. Being a Virgos are to do with the details. So so we see the small things. Like when I look at this tissue paper, like you're seeing tissue paper, but I'm seeing the pattern in the tissue paper.
I see.
You see?
Yeah.
So it's like you have to be able to draw like beauty out of everything.
I feel like that's what I'm missing.
Yeah.
The details of things. Like those things you see, I don't see them easily.
Yeah.
And that's
and that's why like Virgos are in your life to kind of like infuse
thank Noni
thank Noni to infuse that energy.
That's
because
true.
Sometimes it's very easy to get caught up in like the grand scheme of things. Like, I have this dream and also that's and that's something I also used to struggle with, because that's how we're brought up. Like you have a dream, okay, I want to be a pilot, okay, but how do I get there? Right? Like, I want a scholarship. Okay, are you applying every day? Are you doing the boring shit every day? And if you're not, why are you praying to someone? Like, it'll just come,
fall down.
And so it's a process, but it's an everyday process. So like, for example, now if you go back home, start paying attention to the details in things. Just try.
Homework.
Homework.
Yes.
So after Mars, we have Jupiter in Capricorn. Is this why you have your Jupiter as well?
No, my Jupiter is in Scorpio.
Oh, that is very spicy. Wow.
Yeah, mine is in Scorpio.
Mine is in Capricorn.
It is in Capricorn?
Yeah.
Tell us.
Where it's in fall, it doesn't do so well again.
Really?
Like, I have so many planets in fall. I'm like, let's go. Yeah, so Jupiter is a planet of like expansion and like assimilating information. Like it's called the planet of luck as well. But how I see Jupiter is the luck comes if you're open-minded. If you're able to take in the wisdom of your experiences, good and bad.
Good and bad, that's true.
That's where the luck comes. Because people just think Jupiter just comes and gives you luck just like that. No. In fact, I feel like if your perspective is warped, it will enhance. Exactly. It will enhance that negativity. So Jupiter is a lot about how we assimilate information. And by that, if, for example, how I was telling you, ever since I started like really being in the moment, I find beauty in literally the most basic shit. Like, you will think it's basic and I'm just there like, wow, I am stunned. Like, I'm looking at the same sky every day and I feel so grateful
every day.
Yeah. So Jupiter in Capricorn for me, I feel like has just brought a very, like, I'm very studious. I study every day. Like, for example, with this esoteric things like astrology or coding or whatever it is I do, because I do so many things. I love to just like soak all of the things in. Like, I will study everything. Like, I will be watching a movie and I'll be like, okay, we're watching Grey's Anatomy. I look up Ellen Pompeo's chart. I look up her numerology. I'm like, okay, this is what is happening in her chart. Oh my God, like, I am not even kidding. I look at all the cast members' charts and then I'll watch Grey's Anatomy again and I'll watch it and I'll watch it again. And for me, it's from a point of being like, I want to understand everything. What you were saying with Mercury in Capricorn.
But this one is on another level.
It's on steroids. It's on steroids. And I feel like that's also what makes me like that good at astrology, because I'm able to pinpoint, like, for me that shit is so apparent because I'm like, okay, this is it. And then for me, I don't, like, there's no limit to my imagination. And I think that really helps with also me being creative.
Yeah.
Whether it's makeup, in whatever I choose to do, like, I don't limit myself. Like, ukuja uniambie, like, yes, you can come and tell me the sky is blue, but then I'll be like, hakuna mahali iko red. Hakuna mahali. You know, it's just that sense of delusion a bit.
Yeah.
But also, it just really helps me unearth a lot of things, right? So I think for me, my Jupiter in Capricorn comes in how I look at information, how I study, how I'm multifaceted. And for me, like, it's always a point of growth.
Yeah.
And also now, because, I have some shocking news.
Shock us.
Jupiter is my ruler. I've been a Pisces rising this whole time. I'm not a Cancer rising. My hospital confirmed. So with Jupiter being my ruler, so meaning Jupiter in Capricorn is my ruler. And it's like, this is an everyday thing for me. I also feel like it really helps me, and because it's in my 10th house now, and that's my house of career. And so it's like, it feeds into everything I do, into how I make money. Like, for me, it's just never one source. It's like all these multiple things I'm doing. And yeah, I feel like that's my experience with my Jupiter in Capricorn.
That's wonderful.
So yeah, moving on to Saturn in Capricorn.
Yeah.
And for me, my brief explanation with Saturn in Capricorn will be like, Saturn is at home here. Exactly. So like, it's thriving. Like, we are working hard, we are being disciplined, we are doing what we're supposed to do. Saturn comes, it rewards you, you become a legacy or whatever the fuck Capricorns are aiming for up there. And I feel like it manifests that way, unless it's afflicted, unless like the other, like, I don't want to say bad, but like, unless it's afflicted, let me just say that. Yeah, so maybe like something will affect its performance. But when it's well placed, this is a very good like placement for Saturn, because it's happy, it's at home, it's thriving. Yeah. Okay. What about you?
Would we say that people who have like Saturn in Capricorn will have an easier Saturn return, or have had an easier return?
Not necessarily. I think if they're doing what they're supposed to do.
Okay.
Because a lot of times, and this is what I'm learning in astrology, is that just because you have a placement, it doesn't mean you're embodying the energy of that placement. Let's start there.
Yeah.
Because you'll meet Capricorn suns and they're vastly different. Or like
That's
even
true.
someone who has a Capricorn stellium and they sometimes don't relate to that, or they're not in the energy.
Yeah.
So for example, if you meet a Capricorn who is indisciplined, or like who doesn't like responsibility, or things like that, because I know one like that who is very close to me, and it's like they run away from responsibility all the time, but the lessons are so hard for them, like they're constantly going through hard lessons, and it's like, don't you realize what's happening here? Like, just adjust and work with the energy of this planet.
Exactly.
Like so I feel like it's a lot of things are your choice.
That's true.
Yeah. So I feel like for a Saturn in Capricorn person, rather, who is doing all these things, who is being disciplined, who is being cautious and watchful and all these things, is like more likely to experience an easier Saturn return. Because now what a Saturn return does, it comes and it gauges what you've been doing.
Yeah.
The first 30 years, the first 60 years, the first 90 years, what have you been doing with your life?
Yeah.
Have you been learning? Have you been like doing good? How is your karma looking like? Like in your books, what is it you're doing? Have you been disciplined? Have you been treating yourself well? And all these things, and it checks and balances. And if you're not, then it like kind of destabilizes you so that you figure out how to build your foundations again. And so I feel like someone who constantly does the work then will be rewarded, because now Saturn rewards are very massive. They're very like up there.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like the Capricorns who succeed really succeed, because
Really
when they tap into that energy, it's like they're unstoppable. Think about Issa Rae, all these people like Regina King. They're people who are so stunning in what they do, and it's just because they build and build and build and build.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I just feel like when you know your placements, and you just let go and accept to flow, and then the lessons will be easier.
Yeah.
And even it's like you'll be passing by haraka.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like life becomes so much easier, and I'm not kidding, once you go with the energy of who you are, like instead of just fighting against it. So after Saturn, we have Neptune. Yes. In Capricorn. So I have this placement. I have Neptune in Capricorn.
Yeah, me too. I also have that.
You have Neptune in Capricorn as well.
But tell us about Neptune, because I don't know much about Neptune.
Neptune is the planet of imagination, creativity, like romanticism, things of like mystical nature. It's also the planet that rules over deception, illusions. So ni wapi unajidanganya? Where are you most imaginative as well on the other spectrum? And I feel like Neptune in Capricorn gives a very practical imagination.
That's true.
Yeah, because as much as I'm like this Pisces rising who wants to think about everything, that Neptune in Capricorn brings me all the way down, and I'm like, okay, is this achievable? That's Capricorns move from a place of practicality, just like Taurians, just like Virgos. It's like, okay, but is this realistic?
Like, you can't be the Lulu in peace.
You can't be the Lulu in peace. I'm sorry, you can't, especially having a Delulu planet in an earth sign. No.
Bring back you to
absolutely
logic.
Absolutely. And so that has been my experience. It's been like, okay, small, achievable, tangible things. So like, what do we need to do today? Record the podcast. What do we need to do today? Paint. Like, just like that. It's not like you wake up one day and you're Picasso, and I really like that about this placement, because it kind of grounds your imagination.
That's true.
Yeah.
Now, when you talk about deception, it just makes me think how I'm usually very self-conscious about how I relate with people.
Yes.
And I really can't, I would say, I don't lie a
Yeah.
lot of times.
Yeah.
Like, I can count maybe the number of times I have lied in my whole lifetime.
Me too.
I can't get myself to lie.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's not practical. It's not right. I can't.
I feel like for me, it's more of lying is too tedious because of the process that comes after it, of the feelings that come with it, like the guilt, all those things. Yeah. For me, I really relate with the blunt truth. Get it out. Especially with my Aries moon. I'm like, tuseme vileiko. Yeah, like it's not... And for me, I don't see the truth as this cutting thing. Like, it's so empowering because it's like, okay, we've said something, let's deal with it, move on. If we can't accept, move on. Yeah. So I absolutely feel that.
Yeah. It's like I can't get into wash.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I know somehow my conscience is already telling me, you will pay for it.
Absolutely.
You will
consequence.
Like the consequence is too loud.
Absolutely. And that's what Saturn also rules over. Like that feeling of lessons. Like, action, reaction. There's a very strong sense of that. Yeah. So yeah, I feel that. So the next planet is Uranus in Capricorn. You have this.
I have Uranus in Capricorn.
Yes. So how does that manifest for you?
Again, I can't remember Uranus. Remind me about you.
Uranus is a planet of innovation, like revolution, where you stand out, like where you go against the grain.
Is it the one about sudden occurrences?
Yes, sudden changes, absolutely. Shock, anxiety, nerves, things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Uranus in Capricorn. I'd say... Oh my, let me see, innovation. It's like I'm going blank here, but... I'd say like I would... Let's say with the sudden changes, somehow I feel like anything that is going to happen from this point, like in future, it has somehow happened before. So when these things happen, yes, I experience the consequences, but they don't come as surprise. Like,
so like the shock factor is not that shocking for you.
Exactly. It's not that shocking for me. Like, let's say even if it's a negative occurrence or something, I'll just find myself sitting down and say, okay, this has happened to a lot of people before. Like, it's not a shock.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like,
that's interesting.
Something like that.
Yeah.
As I was saying in the beginning, many things don't surprise me.
Absolutely.
Because I feel like if they are going to happen, they've happened before.
Like you've really thought about it.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm also thinking like in terms of like innovating, what that looks like with Capricorn energy here. And I'm thinking like maybe having very practical innovations. And I don't know, like I don't feel like this energy is very cohesive because Uranus and Aquarius are cohesive. Because I have Uranus in Aquarius. And for me, it's like, okay, it's always like I'm always thinking about ingenuity, like what can we do differently? But I think with Capricorn, it's very comfortable doing what it knows how to do.
Exactly. Sometimes I even think I'm not innovative or outside the box kind of person. Sometimes I just feel like that.
Absolutely. Like, that's what it's giving.
I'm just going to do what I know. Or I'll keep doing what has gone down in the books. As in something like that. So
what's familiar is what is comfortable.
Okay. I don't feel like I'll be the kind of people who bring in new innovations or technology in their life. I'm not those people.
I'm that kind of person. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So our final planet is Pluto in Capricorn, which is very interesting because this is a transit that's happening right now. And Pluto is at 29 degrees Capricorn. It's about to enter Aquarius for the next decade. Which I'm so excited about because I'm fed up with this Pluto in Capricorn.
Me too. I'm like, I can relax.
Oh, you can relax. Do you feel like for the past decade you've been going through like very like tough lessons?
now looking back is when I've started realizing it, but like the decade ago I wouldn't know, like, because I didn't know about astrology, but right now when I'm looking back I'm like, oh,
that was tough.
God, I'm just ready to like, I'm ready for the soft life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like let me breathe a little.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Pluto in Capricorn is giving very much like peak capitalistic era. Like it's the era where we saw like the US recession begin. We saw the rise of influencing and people doing like so many things that were not aligned with who they are, but because they're getting money, that was the, that was the moving thing. And I feel like now with this, like Pluto is at an anaretic degree, which means like that 29, the last degree.
Home stretch.
Exactly, home stretch. Like it's where things are boiling and we're seeing like what capitalistic greed, like the height of that capitalistic greed has done. Like we're seeing things like children being trafficked over the past decade, like going to islands, being assaulted by wealthy people, like them having these very weird social kind of relationships going on. And I feel like just it's time for a new era. And I feel like I'm so ready for Pluto in Aquarius. Like I'm so ready for the kind of like activism that's going to be happening. Kind of like now the people who you thought you were, what is it called? Kufinyilia. People are going to be speaking up more. I just feel like for me, especially even in my chart, Pluto in Capricorn has been aspecting like about 9 placements. I've been through it. You've been through it. We've been through it.
We have been.
And I feel like now is when I'm feeling, like I'm sighing a sigh of relief, where I'm just ready to, like, I'm ready for my abundance now. I'm ready to gather all that's mine, all the good things, because God knows how that transformation has been on my ass, like literally, like it's been so like a spiritual transformation. And then this spiritual transformation affects your relationships, it affects your money, it affects your family, it's touching all my houses, and it's like, can I breathe?
Now you can.
Now I can.
Now you can.
Period. So
yeah, and just speaking to that Pluto is a planet of transformation, and you've also mentioned it's on the last degree, 29 degree. And the last year, I'm turning 30 tomorrow. So I've been on my 29th year also.
Oh my God.
Yes.
That is poetic.
So I would say the 29th year has felt like one of my most difficult years. If not, I think it has been the most difficult. And some things that were just coming up was like, did it have to take all this long for me to understand some things now? Like those things were being mentioned kidogo, like even the decade ago, 10 years ago, let's say some things by parents, like little advices here and there. But I had nilikuwa like kichwa ngumu, the goat. I was the literal goat. But Pluto did its thing. I would say harshly. But there's a sadness of like, did it really have to take all this long for me to understand this?
And the losses.
And all that. So it's a bittersweet feeling. I have the sadness. And I'm also excited for the abundance. Yes. I'm still consoling myself. Okay, I'm still young to live life. But I also acknowledge that the transformation was difficult. Like,
absolutely. I feel you. And I haven't even started my Saturn return. Now that's the thing. But I feel like I feel confident. I feel like I'm very wise beyond my years. So I feel like I know what I'm working with. And I know when Saturn comes, I'm not afraid of the work because I started the work way before. So it's just like, it's a blessing. So Pluto in Capricorn, bye-bye. See you. I don't know, whatever decade we'll see you. And yeah, so that brings us to the end. But before that, celebrities, Capricorn celebrities.
I don't know any.
Oh my God, I think I know Issa Rae. I know Coco Jones. I know Beyonce's parents. I know who else? Who else is a Capricorn? Regina King. I think this woman, Cheryl Lee Ralph, she's in Abbott Elementary, and like she's older. But what I've noticed about Capricorn placements is they age so gracefully, like they age so well.
I'm so excited about that.
Listen,
I'm like,
you'll be
from
60
30,
looking like this. Yeah.
be
So
looking younger than my 20s.
yeah. So I think those are the ones that I can think of. But there are a lot of Capricorn placements who are stunning. Like they've achieved huge feats in the world.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I admire the most about Capricorn placements. It's just like y'all will always be achieving, and I salute y'all. Like I respect y'all. So yeah, that brings us to the end of this episode.
Wow.
And Kate, I'd like you to plug your socials.
Okay. Okay, back to it. I'm Kate. My Instagram is Kate Delarue, Kate with a K, Delarue, French name there. So you can find me on Instagram as Kate Delarue. I'm a yoga instructor. I love what I do. If you ever need a yoga instructor, I am the plug. I love it. And I also love the mountains. I hike a lot. Yes. I am the goat.
The goat? Tell them.
Yes. And I just love nature.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the mountains more than the beach.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Oh, that is such a Capricorn.
Yeah. And you'll find me more on the mountains than...
So you like cold weather?
I like cold weather. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Every time I go to the coast,
yeah,
I'm dreading how the heat rush will finish
me.
I don't like the coast.
Oh,
honestly.
wow. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's on Capricorn being a winter sign. And you can find me on socials at Wandiology. You can find the podcast on all socials at the Wandiology podcast. That's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, and also Patreon. And just thank you for joining us and for tuning in. And I'll see you on the next episode, which is Capricorn Through the Houses. Bye.
Bye.